Hello and welcome to the Telescope. Every week we'll bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Stellantis plans to invest 1.5 billion euros to acquire 20% of Leapmotor, making Stellantis a significant shareholder. The deal also outlines the formation of Leapmotor International, a 51-49 Stellantis-led joint venture that has exclusive rights for the export and sale as well as manufacturing of Leapmotor products outside Greater China. That's the press release. Let's break it down. Stellantis, whose CEO is one of the most hawkish voices towards Chinese EV industry, invests 1.5 billion euros into Leapmotor. Almost exactly 12 months ago, Carlos Tavares, boss of the Stellantis group, said in an interview to Top Gear the Chinese industry might be making cars at a loss, and then they will raise prices after the European car makers go out of business. I think it's fair to say that his opinion at least contributed to the recent European Commission's investigation on Chinese EVs. Now, a year later, he has bought a stake in a Chinese EV startup, will rebrand and possibly even manufacture Chinese EV product in Europe. He has also turned 180 degrees on his previous opinion. According to Automotive News, he said, "As we have global issues to face, we have to adopt a global mentality. We do not support a fragmented world. We like competition. To start a probe is not the best way to tackle those questions." For a CEO of the fourth largest automaker in the world, this transition is nothing short of amazing. We have reviewed the ultra-compact T03 in the very first video of the Telescope. I said it's a world-beating budget EV. Since then, more competitive offerings have popped up like the BYD Seagull and the Wuling Bingo. We have reviewed both. The T03 now is less competitive than it was, at least in the Chinese car market. But if we put it into Europe, it's still a Europe-beating budget EV. Let's compare it to the current best-selling Dacia Spring 65. You can see the Leapmotor T03 has 50% more range, 50% more power, twice the charging speed for €10,000 less. This price is based on current Chinese market pricing and all of the necessary VAT and import taxes. Even if we give a 20% profit margin for Leapmotor and a further 20% for Stellantis, it is still €4,000 cheaper than the Dacia Spring. We've also established in the Volkswagen ID.3 review that it has better software than Volkswagen. Some viewers might be aware that Leapmotor has the much bigger C01 saloon and the C11 SUV currently on sale as well. I use the T03 as the example here not just because I used to own one, but because it is the easiest model to be accepted in Europe. It is very small, competent, and most importantly, simple. Its infotainment is mostly text-based. It's literally just a translation job and probably some calibration on the auto emergency braking software, and bang, it's ready. Let's put a Fiat badge on it, or Citroen, or Peugeot. It fits perfectly, doesn't it? The more advanced C01 and C11 are much better cars, but they also require much more work for it to be sold in Europe. That's the present. What about the future? Currently, we can see the C10 SUV. It's an Audi Q5-sized SUV, slightly smaller, but should be more refined than its bigger brother, the C11. This will go on sale in China by the end of this year. Now, all that is in the distant future. What Carlos Tavares can do now is to put out the fire started by himself. Chinese EVs are selling at a loss. Leapmotor is a publicly listed company in Hong Kong. It has a negative gross margin, but they're not doing this to squeeze European car makers out of business. They're doing this because they are the new kid in town. They have no brand recognition, no heritage whatsoever. They don't know that much about supply chain management either. Selling at a loss is currently their best strategy to survive. It's not driven by some kind of national agenda or to drive out European brands. It is driven by the cutthroat competition. Funny enough, Chinese brands usually enjoy higher profit margins in international markets. If you're interested, we can do a standalone video about this in future. With all that being said, Leapmotor, a brand you probably have never heard about and never turned a profit in its existence, receives €1.5 billion investment from Stellantis. Firstly, it's Audi and SAIC, then it's Xpeng and the Volkswagen, now Stellantis and Leapmotor. Notice a bit of a trend here? I set up the Telescope to tell you about the Chinese car market. I'm very happy with the recent development and what's about to come. Stay tuned. That is all from the Telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.